whole thing. But at the end, oh, and by the way, when I'm doing it, I never have yelled at another driver while I've been doing it, nor made a gesture. So there's another meditation on relationships that's in there that could be helpful. And as I was going through this material looking for this happiness stuff, I found this file that I had put away. It talks about the physical part of happiness. And it gives some ideas about how to raise dopamine levels and how to raise serotonin levels. And you can borrow this if you want, but there's like things that you already know. Eat fish. Hey, eggs are good. Don't listen to anybody who tells you eggs aren't good. Eggs are good. Eat eggs. They got all kinds of good stuff in them. Well, maybe if you got cholesterol problems, you can eat some other things to take care of that. Spirulina, red beets, apples, kale, oregano, bananas. Who doesn't like bananas? Come on. Strawberries, blueberries, green tea, herbs like ginkgo biloba, nettles, dandelion, ginseng. Oh boy, sounds like a health food store. Avoid the fast track to happiness. This is a thing for serotonin. Carbohydrates, simple carbohydrates give us that quick boost, and then, of course, you're going down. Don't avoid them entirely. Let's get some complex ones in there. Looking for stuff with tryptophan in it, that's good. Oh, by the way, eat some fat. Eat some fat. It's all right. Eat some fat. Take a fish oil supplement. Exercise to feel good. Oh, this is so important. Exercise to feel good. Not say, oh, I've got to go do my exercise. Exercise to feel good. But, I had a trainer once who said, now listen, I just want to tell you, you come in here, you work in the weight room. This is not recreation. You come in here and work in the weight room and get your body fit so that you can go out and have fun doing other recreation. But it was just too much. It just seemed like such a burden thinking about, if it's not fun for me, I'm just not going to do it. And so I'm just not going to do it. I mean, I can do it for a little while, and it works really good if you get a buddy, right? You can get a buddy to help you, and then, it seems like, then both of you can be miserable together for that little bit of time. But find something that you like to do, and then do it. And do it more and more. Again, the sleep right comes up again and again. If you're going to take supplements, investigate the supplements. Just because somebody says something, don't just start taking some stuff. Who knows what's in that stuff? Look into it. All the information in the world is at our fingertips. The problem is there's a lot of erroneous information that's built in around it. So we got to be careful about these things. Well, I'm going to end where we started. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. This is really the bottom line. And when I say forgiveness, what I'm talking about is to release the grievances, to release the regrets and resentments of the past, bring ourselves into the present moment, and see an end to this suffering. Because all of these things, if we get caught up in all of these things where, oh, I made this mistake and that mistake, I'm so embarrassed, I can't. Okay, admit to it. I made a mistake. It's very important. We don't hide from our mistakes. We admit that we made a mistake. But remember, it was just a mistake. It was not an indelible stain upon your soul. Just relax. Make a mistake and say, okay, is there something that I can do to fix it? Is there something that I can do to fix it? The first thing is we admit it, right? We admit it. And maybe I need to go to another person and take responsibility for this thing to start that healing going. Maybe I need to do something, some kind of compensation, some kind of recompense that takes care of it. But I got to decide, is there something I can do to fix it? If there is, that's what I want to do. If there's not, I need to give it to God. Now, so this is how this forgiveness works. I'm going to give you this very simple exercise that you can do for forgiveness. And when I'm talking about forgiveness, I'm not just talking about mistakes you made or mistakes you think other people made. I'm talking about any issue in your life, any situation in your life that you would like that it never happened. You would say, oh my God, if that wouldn't have happened, everything would have been better. Any situation like that in your life. Any relationship that you're having with somebody which seems quarrelsome or upsetting. In other words, any problem. I want to be healed from these problems. I want these problems I want them to disappear, but I want them to disappear in healing. I want it to be corrected. And so any problem that we have, any person that we're having a problem with, any relationship, anything like that, just get a picture of it in your mind. Put it on a table in front of you. See how big it is. See how big of a box it needs to go into. Put it into that box. Wrap the box up. Well, we don't have any more Christmas presents here. Wrap the box up like a Christmas present. Put a big bow on it. And then give it to God. Now, you may think that when you do this, oh yeah, that's all I'm ever giving God is all my problems. What is God? It seems like a substandard gift to give. But it's not. Because this power of God that exists within you and all around you wants to take your problems. This power wants to take all of the issues that you have that are causing suffering in your life, and this power wants to heal all of those issues. And so you wrap it up in this Christmas present or birthday present or whatever you want to call it, and you give it to God. Here. You can say, if you want to, you can say, I'm giving it to the Holy Spirit. I don't care. You can say you're giving it to Jesus. I don't care. Give it to Spirit. Give it to this power of love that is greater than our small selves. And then leave it go. Now I know from time to time you want to go back, open up the package, get back in there, pull the thing out. It's okay. Just wrap it back up when you can't deal with it on your own and give it back. I will guarantee that something will happen. If you give these issues to God, something will happen. An answer will come to you. You'll get some inspiration. See, by giving this away doesn't mean that you're not going to have to do anything. What we're saying when we do this is, by myself I'm powerless. Alone I'm powerless. I need to connect with that power greater than myself, which sometimes is other people are going to help us. I need to connect to this power greater than myself because I can't do this by myself. And as we were talking about roles and goals, we need to always understand this. There is no such thing as a self-made man or a self-made woman. We all had help. We all we might have done a lot of things. We might have had some great initiative. We might have had some beautiful ideas. But none of us got to where we're at, for good or ill, without help. So I need help. I can't. If this issue is causing me pain, obviously my personality hasn't been able to figure out a way to get rid of it. I need to get it away from my personality. I need to give it to that greater part of me. And so I give it away, and then what happens is guidance comes back. Some answer comes back. Some situation occurs where there's an opportunity for healing. There's a line in the Course in Miracles that says, forgiveness can actually change the past. And the first time I read that, I went, what? Like, that's impossible. That's impossible. I saw a story on public TV where they had these mathematicians and scientists, and they were talking about whether it was going to be possible to go back into the past at some point. And some of them said, no, it's never going to be possible. You just can't do it. And then these others, they wrote out this huge formula on this board up in front, and I didn't know what the heck that was all about. But they said, here's how it would work. You actually could go back into the past if you could build this device to do it. But you could not go back farther than the date that the device was invented. And then when you got back there, you couldn't actually change anything. You could just observe. So for all of you that have said, oh, if only I could go back and fix that problem, stop thinking that way. You're not going to get in a time machine and go back and fix that problem. But when the Course in Miracles said that forgiveness can change the past, I was thinking that seems like a convenient time machine. That somehow, if we practice hard enough, we could magically change this past event. But that's not what it's talking about at all. What it's talking about is the problem with the past is we see the past the way we see it. We see the past in a certain way. If I go talk to you about an event that happened in the past that we had in common, you're not going to even remember it the same way I remember it. We might be close. really, and I've had this happen before, we might be very far apart in how we remember that past event. That's because my past is different than yours, even though we may have experienced the same things together. So how forgiveness changes the past is, it changes the way I remember it. Forgiveness allows me to see that if there was a problem, that the reason that there was a problem was that there was suffering involved. And in my forgiveness, what I want to see is a healing to the suffering. So yes, I made a mistake and I did this that was hurtful to somebody else because I was hurting. But they made a mistake and did something that was hurtful for me because they were hurting. And so in my prayer and in my forgiveness, I want to see us both in a state where we're not hurting. I cannot do that in my personality. I have to give this to Spirit. I have to give it to God. Because the love, through the love of God in me, I forgive all of our mistakes. That's enough. Happy New Year.